At this very moment, the largest inland sea on Earth is vanishing into thin air at a rate of 7 centimeters per year. This is not a mere environmental issue. This is an existential crisis at the state level. According to satellite observation data and climate modeling, the water level of the Caspian Sea has already dropped by more than 1.5 meters since the 1990s, and the rate of decline is accelerating. As coastlines retreat by several kilometers, once majestic warships that occupied these harbors now sit fossilized in the mud, consumed by rust. Yet a bizarre phenomenon is unfolding. As the sea disappears, the blades of those vying for its floor grow even sharper. Beneath that evaporating mud lies an astronomical treasure, approximately $5 trillion worth of crude oil and natural gas. It is a sum vast enough to reshape the global energy order. However, this figure is closer to a grand mirage. With human greed outracing the speed of the sea's evaporation, this region is transforming from a resource gold mine into a massive tomb designed by empires themselves. The blueprint for this tragedy began 100 years ago with Joseph Stalin. He unfolded his maps and, with chilling clinical precision, laid out the foundations for future conflict. He knew that by deliberately misaligning ethnic territories, resource hubs, and vital waterways, the surrounding nations would be forced into perpetual collision without the mediation of a central power. Stalin placed the valve of the Volga River, which accounts for 80% of the Caspian's inflow, firmly in Moscow's grasp. He created a structure where whoever controls the flow controls the very life or death of the sea. With the tip of his pen, he fragmented ethnic homelands. He left half of the Azerbaijani population within Iranian territory, and mandated that Kazakhstan's resources could only flow through Russian pipelines. This was no administrative error. It was a structural design ensuring recurring conflict. When the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, this geopolitical time bomb began to tick. The sea, suddenly devoid of its mediator, became a lawless zone where the interests of 5 nations crashed head-on. August 2018, Aktau, Kazakhstan. Leaders of the 5 coastal nations gathered, smiling for the cameras as they signed the Convention on the Legal Status of the Caspian Sea. On the surface, it appeared to be a historic victory ending decades of dispute. But beneath lay a calculated transaction. They defined the area as a special water body, a vague concept that was neither a sea nor a lake. Instead of finalizing a legal definition, they chose to divide immediate interests. Vladimir Putin secured a guarantee of no foreign military presence, effectively barring US access, while other coastal states gained the right to construct undersea pipelines. But they did not solve the problem. They merely offloaded the exploding pressure onto the next generation. This convention was not a true peace treaty. It was a deceptive ceasefire, signed while each party kept a blade held to the other's throat. As Russia's hegemony wavers, another titan sets his sights on this sea: Xi Jinping. China arrived not with swords, but with ledgers. Under the vast net of the Belt and Road Initiative, massive capital and long-term loans from Chinese state banks began to exert economic pressure on Central Asian nations. They secured stakes in Kazakhstan's giant oil fields and connected Turkmenistan's gas pipelines directly to the Chinese heartland. Now, the direction of the pipelines dictates their diplomatic options. In the past, imperial armies occupied territories. Today, imperial banks occupy the future. Central Asian nations believed they were escaping the Russian prison, only to find they had walked willingly into China's vast network of debt. On the surface, the Caspian was not a war zone. Yet war has always ignited along its periphery. In 2020, the world witnessed the brutal clash in Nagorno-Karabakh. The essence of this fierce combat on land was, in fact, a struggle for control over the BTC, Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan pipeline, the lifeline carrying Caspian energy to Europe. Turkey's Erdogan and Azerbaijan's Aliyev, fueled by pan-Turkism, reshaped the regional order as Russian influence waned. Simultaneously, the surface of the Caspian serves as Russia's silent launchpad. Putin fires Kalibr cruise missiles with a range of 2,500 kilometers from Caspian corvettes to strike the heart of Ukraine. The sea is no longer a space of prosperity. It has become a massive aquatic silo, capable of spitting out trajectories of death at any moment. However, a brutal conclusion is approaching that mocks all this blood-soaked maneuvering. Sea is vanishing. According to joint simulations by researchers at the University of Gießen in Germany and Utrecht University in the Netherlands, the water level of the Caspian is predicted to drop by up to 18 meters by the end of the 21st century. The shallow northern waters will turn into a vast salt desert, and the maritime borders so fiercely negotiated will once again become meaningless as the geography shifts. The most fatal blow is the very underground resources they so desperately craved. As the water level drops, temperatures soar and salinity concentrates. This lethal salinity will rapidly corrode the pipeline systems built at the cost of trillions of dollars. Harbors will be stranded in the middle of deserts, and refineries will be reduced to rusting heaps of scrap metal. Ultimately, the $5 trillion in value they fought for will become stranded assets, unrecoverable and buried forever in the mud. We tried to control the sea, but what we failed to control were the shifts in climate and geology. And that trap is growing deeper by 7 centimeters every single year.
Thank you for watching.